Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
We had to restart because Arnes messed up where I was in the video, so I can't remember anymore. As you may see, this kind of looks like what it looked like at the end of the Rose Violante review. It's because it is. But anyways, I thought we could do a little discussion video if you guys would also like to chime in the comment section below too on if we think we should invest more money into the Super 7 line.
Just, like I said earlier, just give me my melting Godzilla, and after that, you guys can go away. I don't need it.
Because I know for me personally, a lot of these figures I buy. Actually, probably 95% of the figures I end up on this channel, I have bought for my collection. We sometimes get review samples, not very often.
Well, honestly, like the Violante, that's something that nobody has it like this, so this is a good thing.
Yeah, because initially when the line came out, and I think was the biggest selling point, at least when it first went up, is this thing here was something very unique. We haven't gotten something like that.
Yeah.
Especially an opposable articulated line, which made it very desirable. And then we're also getting a new Godzilla. The price point, they're bigger, just bigger, articulated like a Monster Arts, and cheaper. All selling points, right?
It's all sounded good.
All sounded good. Then they started dropping more stuff that with the line that's going to be coming out with the Mecha Godzilla. A lot of people are excited for that one. The Meltdown Godzilla, which I'm still excited about.
I'm super excited about that. I'm getting that no matter what.
Destroya, for people that weren't able to get the Monster Arts, there's one that's more affordable. It's going to be bigger.
Space Godzilla, the Mogira.
Burning Godzilla, those weren't announced yet. Like, those were announced after these already started coming out. Started reading Facebook groups and stuff like that where people were very disappointed with these things. And a lot of people are canceling pre-orders, which kind of makes me start thinking if the line's even going to survive, because if nobody's really pre-ordering the figures, they're not going to make any of them.
Well, prime example was one of my Overlord figures I was going to pre-order, but I couldn't afford it because it was like $160. And there was literally almost no pre-order. So now it's only $90 because they put it on sale pre-order. It was supposed to come out this month. It's the one I sent you, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And nobody pre-ordered it because it's too expensive. Now it's $90 sale pre-order. So
yeah, I've seen some things that are like the sales or pre-orders. But one of the biggest things is with, like, say, their Power Ranger line, is recently I had to pre-order the White Tiger Zord because I had all the Zords on pre-order and Zed. Because I like Zed.
Yeah, you tell me you got the Zed.
But the problem is they canceled the pre-orders for the White Tiger Zord and the villain character that they made. I forget her name. I was thinking about getting her, but I only did the White Tiger at the moment because I was kind of waiting for her to come out and have a sale. Horrible me. But because there wasn't enough pre-orders, they ended up not making it. Didn't go into production, which kind of sucks. Which I feel like can happen with this line too.
It might.
So that's why I thought it'd be kind of like a fun thing to go over. Well, do we think it should happen? Should you guys be canceling all your pre-orders and just hoping that they might come out eventually? Or, because a lot of people I know are like, well, I'll wait till the reviewers get them, and then I'll get them. Or then I'll decide if I want to buy it or not. Instead of a lot of these, people are like pre-ordering them. A lot of the reviewers tend to get theirs before the people do. Usually, so if you're thinking about getting it, you're still usually safer by just pre-ordering it because, like I've learned with Monster Arts and a lot of collecting, stuff can sell out
real quick.
So if you're hesitant, it can still sell out. In a lot of places, you can still cancel your pre-order. No sweat to you. Which is kind of the same thing with this line. Like, if you're thinking about grabbing stuff, I would still pre-order. I wouldn't really wait. Because, like I mentioned, if there's not enough people pre-order them, they're not going to make them.
Because I know a lot of people have told us that they're going to pre-order Space Godzilla.
Yeah, there's like people are Space Godzilla, but then I've also heard a lot of, well, I'll wait to see what what reviewers think of Space Godzilla, and then I'll think I'll grab it.
Yeah, because by the looks of it, again, it just could be false advertisement. Space Godzilla comes like actual neat things. He comes with 6 crystals, 6 interchangeable arms, the head. You know, he comes with a lot.
Yeah, which I guess we can start going over it because, like I mentioned with the review for the Godzilla here, I think he was fine. I think at the price point, he's a big, hefty figure. He kind of reminds me of a Trendmaster, so he brings back a bit of a nostalgic vibe. He comes with accessories. It looks like a Heisei Godzilla. I think he's fine.
And he comes with some neat accessories that actually will go along with Violante. And I like that concept. That's a good thing.
I think that's cool. Like I said, it's not like I don't feel like this figure's for everybody. It's not because I already knew buying this guy wasn't going to be replacing a Monster Arts or like a Haya for me.
No, God,
That's
no.
not what I bought this guy for. I wanted this guy to be a fun sort of Treadmaster-esque figure for my collection, but he's more posable.
Yeah.
Guess what I got? A figure that kind of reminds me of a Treadmaster. Like I mentioned in the video, he feels a bit outdated.
Should have came out, like Steve said, what, 10, 12 years ago?
Yeah, like if he would have came out even just a few years ago, I think he would be... People have been more on board with it now, but we kind of been spoiled a little bit. But like I mentioned, I think he's fine. And again, with that Super 7 kind of style, I think he works. I think it could have still maybe been a little cheaper, but I thought he was alright. And then, with that being said, if other figures in the line are like him, cool. I'd be okay with that. Especially if, like, Space Godzilla's like him, but with crystals and comes with all that stuff. Sign me up. That Space Godzilla's going to be pretty sweet. The Mothra.
See,
Could maybe be a little cheaper, but if it's like him, could be still pretty sweet. I wish he broke apart.
see, I like Mothra. Love that. Love the guy. But I can't afford $350 for the SH Monster Arts. And they will most likely not re-release it. I thought they would this whole time. They haven't. So my only option is this. And I don't know if it's worth $85. I mean, he comes with a, what, pointy head and like 3 wings?
Yeah. Like I said, if it could have became the 2 sections, where it could have became the tank and the Falcon, whatever it's called.
Yeah. If it did that, like...
If it did that,
Great.
sign me up. Because, again, it would have made it a unique figure. Because there's not many that do that. Would have been sweet. Sign me up.
Like the Biolante should light up.
Yeah, the Biolante was... Its saving grace is that it's made so infrequently that there's not many options for it, period. At least Mothra, there's like, you got the Vinyl, you got the Monster Arts, Treadmasters made one. There's options. There's the DX versions. If you want a Mothra, you can get a Mothra.
Yeah.
Rose Biolante, it's like, there's like a Marmot or something.
I think there's one Marmot that we've seen.
That was really about it for this guy. So
I've seen some custom ones online, but...
So a lot of his selling point was, well, if you need Rose Biolante for your collection, this is it. And he's the most affordable one. But what you end up getting is something that definitely wasn't worth $85.
No. And the thing that sucks, it's a good movie. You know, it has a big fan base.
Yeah, it's my favorite Heisei.
Yeah. And a lot of people bought it just for that point, and this is what they got.
Yeah. So if this is the one that kind of scares me, because if they're more like this one, then I don't think I would want to buy anymore.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. I'm going to get that Mothra, I'm going to pick it up, and it's going to be like, oh, what is this? Like,
Yeah, like I said, I would incline it'd be more like this. Especially like the Space Godzilla, the Burning is going to be kind of cool like this. The Burning I'm still kind of excited for. So and I think a lot of the problem too here is the way they started, because we started with base Godzilla and a lackluster figure that doesn't scale. I think it definitely would have been one of those. I'm kind of glad they started us with this, because if they would have gave us like the Destroy and Burning as our first figures, so we would have got this figure but with the smoke, and then the giant Destroyer. I think people would have been like, "Oh, this is sweet. These are great," and a lot of people would have been loving this line up. And then we would have got this wave,
and people would have been pissed.
What the hell? And I think I would have been too. I would have been even more disappointed at that point.
I think like one of my biggest gripes for this as a set, that it comes with accessories that he's supposed to go with this Biolante, like this arm, but then they're not even close to the scale. Like, look at this.
Yeah, well, then it's also like the way they did the posability for Biolante doesn't really work well for trying to play with them.
It should be about right here, right?
Yeah, around there.
So we're like 2-3 inches off.
Yeah, if it's scaled.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that price, because the thing's hollow. So if it was bigger, at least then it would have felt like, it would have been hefty and felt like this. The packaging would have been...
Justify buying it.
Yeah, it would have been justified. Because like we mentioned in the video too, grabbing like McFarlane Violator, who's cheaper.
And who's just violating this whole line.
Yeah, like this is still like one of my favorite figures.
And this guy's bulky, heavy.
He stands by himself while being posable. He's great. And he looks good. But again, this is meant to look hyper detail. Like it's meant for a different collector than I feel like these ones are.
Yeah.
But that being said, at the price points, it could be cheaper. Now a lot of that, like we said, also kind of has to do with licensing and what have you. I'm just gonna put Violator there for a minute. So usually, like Toho Godzilla stuff tends to be more expensive in general.
Yeah, because we were talking about that earlier, and I think it just the reason why they're so expensive is
Which is kind of the reason why I think NECA got rid of the license, because if they would have kept the license, I think there was no way they could have kept doing $30 Godzilla toys.
No.
Like, I think something happened to where the license was going to be more money, and they were just like, yeah, screw it.
They could have stuck at least with the legendaries.
Yeah, and then also with the Godzillas, they were... Like, each Godzilla that they were doing, there was multiple versions they could do with that Godzilla. So there's a lot of ways to reuse the mold. It's harder to do when you're doing these kind of things.
You remember when we were at Target, and there was like 6, 7 different Godzillas, and they were just not selling the NECA's legendary ones.
Yeah, I remember the Godzilla ones were sitting forever, and then once they discontinued, they're gone.
So I think that's why they just stopped doing it all in general, period.
Yeah, like I said, it was a weird thing. Well, that, like, how many 89s do I need to buy? How many 2002s do I need to buy?
Yeah, that's
It was kind of the problem with the Pacific Rim. Is the reason why they stopped doing those is because we weren't buying the 7th Gypsy Danger that they were making. So they wouldn't make a new kaiju for us. So, do I think this line should survive? Because also, like we mentioned, you have Monster Arts already, which are smaller, but like this at least feels expensive.
And it actually kind of scales with this one, so
it does scale with that. And for the price, but for the price point, this is like $5 extra, and it's smaller, but it's better posing, it's better looking. But this is again for a different collector. This is somebody that wants something that's like super realistic to the movie. And then you also have the Haya, which I feel like is also kind of for a different collector, where it's still super realistic, but it's just bigger scale, but not quite as expensive feeling, but expensive enough to make me happy.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a NECA, but bigger and better looking. And that's kind of what I thought this was just going to be. It was just a NECA, but bigger. I wasn't going to say better looking, but bigger.
Well, when these got announced, these figures, I thought this was supposed to be like a step up from NECA.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be like, yeah, just NECA, but just more posable, bigger stuff.
So they were like, the way they were talking, they were like, they're doing better than NECA, more articulation than NECA. So, and then NECA already like creeped up to $50 per figure. So paying extra $30 was not that out of...
I don't think they ever got to 50. It was like 30-ish at the time.
At that time, yes, but now they're like creeping up.
Yeah, now you're like 40. 40's where you're at right now if you want to get them. Like 35, 40, depending on what it is. So, yeah. I think they're still worth pre-ordering, personally.
Only if you really, really love this thing, you should get it. Like, this is
like
your
I said,
jam.
I think it's worth pre-ordering, but I think you have to have the mindset that you're not going to get... You're not buying this line because you want something that's super accurate to the source material. You're buying this line because you want something that gives you nostalgic feels for your Treadmasters, but you don't want to pay to get a hold of an old Treadmaster figure.
Yeah.
Like, you want something you're buying this line because you want something that's a bit more stylized, and you want something that's a little bit more unique than what some of the other companies are offering. But that being said, I think most people in general want Monster Arts or Haya. Or heck, even a Bandai vinyl.
Yeah, if I had to choose, we can let go of this company and just keep Haya. It's better.
And Haya's doing them too.
Yeah.
No, I think if Super 7 pivots more to, like we mentioned before, instead of making posable figures that kind of feel like a Treadmaster, instead just making me Treadmaster figures that are more posable, kind of like what they do with the Playmates Turtles.
That's a good idea.
At $85, fudging sold. If it was this quality, but looked like the Treadmaster, I'd be down. Because then they don't have to scale.
No, they don't.
Because the Biologic could be the same size as Godzilla, because guess what? They were the same size as Treadmaster line. Not going to hurt my feelings. Same with the Mogira and the Mechagodzilla. They look the same as they did in the movie. Yeah. Not going to hurt my feelings. Space Godzilla, they just got to make it... Actually, to be honest, the Space Godzilla, they just kind of got to make it a different color, and you can sell me on it. Well, like I said, if they did more of that, I think I'd be way more inclined. Right now, it's more of I think they're cool and I like them for my collection, but I think I'm gonna mainly stick with more of the unique offerings that they're doing,
Yeah.
more so than by collecting this line to collect the line.
It's more like, okay, you're going to get the Biolente because it's Biolente, you can't find it. Like the Melting Godzilla. That's something that's
Yeah, the
unique.
Melting Godzilla's cool. I'm down with that. The Dark Horse one, I want to grab. I gotta hopefully grab it. But it's unique. I like it.
It's different.
And then maybe like if they did certain monsters, like the Space Godzilla, I'm leaning more towards because I like Space Godzilla. If they did another Biolante,
You know,
I hate to say it, but I might grab it just because Biolante is one of my favorite monsters.
while you guys are at it, just make me the River Crab, the Space Chicken, and Gabra. I'll buy those.
I mean, Gigan and Ebra.
Yes. Yes, Steve. Yes.
I thought you wanted the Giant Condor.
No, yeah, the Giant Condor.
If they did the Giant Condor, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I want the Giant Condor, I want Abra, and I want Gabra. I won't even question. I'll just buy it for the sake of something that I don't have and I want.
Yeah. So I guess to just kind of conclude and end this video. I don't think it's a line that should necessarily die, but I think just people need to have more tapered expectations towards this line.
What Steve is saying, you guys should just open your wallets, and I'm saying you guys should not.
No, I'm just saying for people like you shouldn't be pre-ordering this because you want a super articulated, accurate Godzilla to the source material. You're buying this because you want something that reminds you of your childhood, which for a lot of Godzilla collectors nowadays isn't what they want. They want something that's accurate to source material and superposable. So at that point, you're generally going to want X Plus, Monster Arts, High. If you're going to spend the money, that's probably where you want to go. This is more for, again, people that want something a little more unique.
I mean, everything these days is getting so expensive, it's crazy.
Yeah, and even then, buy the Biolante on sale.
Yeah. Yup, definitely.
But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. So help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button. Subscribe, become a ranger today. If you guys like the Super 7 line, if you think it should die, let us know in the comment section below. And we also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook, and Threads. If you guys like Hero of the Day, which I know, and donate, greatly would appreciate it. Also, if you guys like to pick these up for yourselves, link in the description for Entertainment Earth. You can get Haya, you can get Monster Arts, you can get Super 7s there. And support the channel.
You should buy all three of them to support us.
You can just buy one. I'm not that greedy.
I am. It's okay. I won't lie to you guys.
See you guys next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.